Well, hello, everybody. How are you doing today? It's good to have you back on my channel. I am Jedi Granville, and this is Jedi Granville Productions. And with me to be talking about a special particular film, I got Mr. Kevin Lambert of the Entertainment Headquarters. Dig 'em if you do. And below us, we got Mr. Jake Hall of Kaiju Enigma. He is a mystery, so don't think that you can't figure him out, you know. But it's good to have you gentlemen on here. I appreciate your time and effort on this because, stuff like this, you don't really want to talk about by yourself. You want to at least have somebody to kind of coincide and kind of say, let's kind of just shoot the shit and see where we go with this,
Yeah.
And, what we're going to be talking about on this special edition of Takasasu Corner, we are going to be talking about a classic 1963 film directed by Ishiro Honda, which is ATRAGON.
Yes.
Or as is known in the Japanese translation, the Underwater Sea Battleship or Warship, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. You gotta actually say the literal translation, otherwise people will be saying that's not what it's translated, man. Get it right, So, but this film is I don't know. It's a very unique one out of some of the films he's done, as far as Mr. Honda has done, or even anyone else has done. But to kind of get the iffy out of the way, when was your first time seeing this particular film? We'll start Mr. Kevin Lambert there.
Ooh, now you're talking, Walter.
Okay.
I cannot remember the exact year, but I know it was a few years, probably sometime in the late 1990s.
Oh, okay.
So, of course, I know about the Showa era. I know about all the classic Godzilla movies in the classic, kaiju genre. And I had heard about a handful of other, movies that were made by Toho or similar films.
Right.
That were science fiction. Because as you know, in the 1950s and then going into the 1960s, it was the era of really over-the-top, outlandish sci-fi films.
Right.
So, you had like Tarantula, that was in the West. You had, you had different kind of films like that. And then not just kaiju movies, but then you obviously moved into more traditional science fiction films.
Right.
And then, of course, I love like things like Omega Man, War of the Worlds, all these classic westernized science fiction films. Yeah. And then in the late 1990s, after being introduced to the Heisei era and things of that nature, that's when I was like discovering these other classic sci-fi films from the back in the day, from the 1960s and 50s. Yeah. And I remember one day, as always, I was just, with my family in, I think it was something like Turner's Classic Movies. They were doing something like a tribute to Japanese cinema. It was like a week or a month of Japanese feature films. And one of them was ATRAGON. And that was my first.
I was going to say, this was on British channels.
Yeah, in the UK, we have a Turner's Classic Movie channel. And it like showcases all the classic, things of that nature, classic movies from all the different eras. And for whatever reason, they had like this is in the 90s, a Japanese tribute month or something, whatever it was. And it was like dedicated to different genres within Japanese cinema. They had probably The Seven Samurai on.
Okay.
They would have had different movies of that nature, the Mystrians, they would have had all them kind of films featured throughout the course of this month. And ATRAGON was one of the first films I seen.
Cool. Okay, then. Well, Mr. Hall, when was your first introduction to this film?
Well, a long time ago, I had I think I still have it, but it was like a little, like those VHS tapes where they show like films and stuff and like clips and stuff, like behind the scenes and all that. And there was one where there was a submarine being attacked by a certain black thing.
Right.
I was like, interesting. And it wasn't until they released this
Mm-hmm.
was when the first time I watched ATRAGON. And the first time I watched it, I was like, this is very intriguing. Right? And like Kevin, I slowly was introduced to these newer or older films back in the 50s, 60s, because, I've watched the Gamras, I've watched all the Godzillas, but that was the first time I watched Atragon was when I bought the DVD of it. So
Okay. Well, it's kind of interesting. It's probably fits in the melee of you guys. Is that's pretty much how I came to watch this film because I heard. No, actually, I didn't really hear about it anytime until the late 2000s, where I had heard about, as Kevin mentioned it, the Mysterians, and I had known about that film for a very long time. But I said to myself, it's like, when am I ever going to get to see this film? I've never seen it on TV. I've never seen it on any other kind of format. So by chance, it was on Amazon. And this is when I started ordering on Amazon because I was kind of iffy about ordering offline. And it just happened to be online. It just happened to be at Amazon. I said, okay, let me get this film. So I, by chance, like you, got the film itself on DVD. And but before I got that, I got Mysterians. And I said to myself, okay, Mysterians, something different, something totally off the cuff as far as anything that's not Godzilla related, but it's science fiction, and I enjoyed it. So interesting enough, when you order something like that, just like on YouTube, if you see something, you look it up, they give you suggestions that maybe you might be interested in these other particular films. And it's like,
yeah,
I'm like, I don't know about this. I don't know if I want to watch this film.
Well, it's like if you go on like Amazon or Netflix.
Mhm.
See, for example, if you go on the Netflix or Amazon, you'll watch a particular movie. Like, see, for example, if you watch, like, say, a Viking film or a Viking program, when that film ends, it'll probably, when you flick through Netflix or Amazon, because you've watched this Viking movie, as you're flicking through, it'll say, because you've watched this movie, here is some suggestions of other similar movies.
oh yeah,
And it might be other Viking movies, or it could be other period piece kind of movies, like, I don't know, like a World War One movie, because it might think into historical, feature films. So I've noticed as well, because I watched Atragon recently for this podcast on Amazon, and it suggested a few other 1950 movies.
Yes.
So, or the 60s movies, it has suggested The Mystery, and so I'm going to watch that. It suggested, for some reason, Them.
I mean,
Mhm.
I don't see how, but I mean, okay.
Yeah, the X from Outer
Outer
Space.
Space.
Space, yes.
It suggested that as well, like underneath it, after I finished the film, because I think they're like Japanese produced
Right.
films, except obviously Them.
Well,
Yeah,
well, I don't know, and that's the thing. I was like, okay, Them's American made, and it's about giant ants. So it's like, but maybe it's referring to dealing with radioactivity and how it affects everything. So it's like, maybe that's going to be the case. I don't know, but like you say, it suggested that, and bunch of films that was suggesting, like Atragon, Frankenstein Conquers the World, and some various others. And I was just like, say, well, if I got the means to buy it, I'm gonna just buy it and find out, see what they're like. And this is why I'm so glad that my curiosity got the best of me, because if I hadn't ordered this film and others, it would leave me in the dark of how good these pictures really are. Because when I ordered that film, I ordered Matango, I ordered some other one, and go figure that certain films turn out to be so good that I can tell you that they are like at the top of my list as my favorite of certain directors. And I mentioned before on another recording that Matango is my favorite Ishiro Honda film, but that's beside the point.
That was definitely an interesting film, Matango.
Yes.
I still have not seen it.
No,
You might be able to watch it on Amazon.
possibly.
Just type in Matango and it might.
I think though on Amazon, is it not known as the something of the Mushroom People?
Attack of the Mushroom People, yes.
Yeah, I think it is on, but it's not called Matango. It's called Attack of the Mushroom People.
Yes.
Oh, that's the full title. As it's called Matango, Attack of the Mushroom People.
Oh,
and it is definitely a unique film. And
extremely unique.
And I was pleasantly surprised when I bought that because, thanks to Tokyo Shock and Media Blasters, they release like ATRAGON, The Mysterians, Matango, Varan. So I was pleasantly surprised with that film, but we'll talk about that film at another time.
Yes, we will. Trust me. But like I say, getting back and just like I say, when I saw the film, I was like, wow, this film is really a very unique film, and let's just say, when you get people together like the people that are behind it, that the original 4 horsemen of the Tokusatsu universe, Mr. Honda, Tomonika Tanaka, Eiji Tsuburai, and Akira Fube, you got to realize that somehow these 4, even though they work separately from one another when doing films, it's always amazing how they come together and make a spectacle of something. And this film is no exception, because it is very unique in what it does. And I just say, if anyone has never watched it, who's never watched this film, please, not for the love of because it's Tokusatsu viewing or anything. It's good filmmaking, and I think you will enjoy it, for what it is.
It's a story as well. It's got a really interesting story.
Very good story. But with that in mind, that's kind of get into what the basis of the story is. And it's basically this. It's like I say, the plot of it basically is this. We're dealing with a lost when I say lost cause, you might as well say lost cause kind of world that is starting to resurface, known as the Mir Empire, and they want to take over, reconquer the world. It's like, why do y'all want to reconquer the world? I mean, y'all just want to
and it's based on a story. It's based on a story called The Undersea Warship, a fantastic tale of island adventure by Shiroro Okikawa. The Undersea Kingdom by Shigeru Komatatsuzaki.
And
I'll
trust me,
butcher them fucking names.
Well, I was going to say, look, you're doing a good job, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to fuck it up too. But I'm going to attempt to pronounce some of these names, because I got to learn how to pronounce them, because these are forerunners of the ones who star in these things, who make the films and such and such, But this was based on a novel. This was written by the novel was written back in 1899. I was like, geez, I didn't realize it was that late in the world where it was written. So it makes me kind of think that, was this written or kind of close after Jules Verne wrote 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea?
It does have a very Jules Verne feel to it.
Because we will experience that moment in the film where we experience something of that's kind of that, and I'll be honest with you, I feel like it is kind of touching on Jules Verne a little bit much, you know. But the cast is an incredible cast. It is these. Let's start with the people who are actually good on this. We have the two people right here on the left, which are PR photographers or PR individuals, and I'm going to attempt to name these people's names in real life. Tomo Taka Samara, who is known as Shishimo in the film. He's a photographer, and his cohort with his Yu Fujika, who is known as Shoshito. They're and you've seen these two before. They've been in a year before in King Kong versus Godzilla, where they kind of do the Abbott and Costello motif in that film, and they do it kind of well in here too, you know. But I think in the previous one, they did it a little bit more comedic, because that movie was basically a comedy, you know, whereas this is more, you know, sci-fi, but you know, more drama to it. And we have with them, which is she's a very beautiful woman, Yoko Fujiyama, who is playing Manako. And let me just say, man, Miss Fujima, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but she looked so beautiful. She looked like an angel in this picture.
She does.
Yeah,
she looks so beautiful, man. I'm like, good Lord. I mean, because I've seen her in previous films after. When I first saw this, when I did see this one eventually, I was like, man, she looks like, I don't know. I mean, the cinematographer just really must have captured her, essence there or something like that. I don't know. It just, something about the camera was just photogenic about her, you know. So, but to the right of her, this is, make sure I get where they Ken Ihora, which is who used to be a admiral, but his name is Kushishama, and he's kind of the adopted uncle to Monaco, because he's looking after her for this famous actor here, where is it? Where's his name? Here it is. Jun Takasaw, who's known as Captain Jingojo, if I'm saying it right, Jingojo. But he's known as a famous. He was in the war during World War II. He was a captain. He was a ship captain during World War II, a submarine captain. And he was known as one of the busts of the shipbuilders in terms of submarine building. Very excellent, as the story goes. And below them is another prolific actor, and we've probably seen him so many times during this time. Horishu Kamizo, if I'm saying it right. He's playing Detective Oto. It's kind of funny because this is what's kind of interesting. He's always playing either a cop or a scientist in certain films around this time, you know. But this is the so-called protagonist bunch here, whereas we have the antagonist cast. And let's say, the one in particular, I can say it surprised me the most, because previously he was in Matango, which was Ken Shichihara. I was seeing him, you know, in this before this, when I saw Matango, or was it Matango before this? No, it was Matango before this. I was surprised that this guy could really play a nasty part. You know, it shows that he has range. You know, he's just not playing just it's like, hold up a second. This is thank you, Sensei's Red Spirit. I know who he is, but thank you for joining, sir. But you know, Shintahara though, dude. I mean, I never realized this guy could be so mean, or just like present a meanness about him. You know, I mean, and I guess that just shows how good of an prolific actor he is. You know, because he can play good parts. You know, we've seen him previously in Rodan and the Mysterians, and it's like he seems such a boyish looking individual here, and in previously in Matanga, he's like really like, wow. I mean, I never imagined that he can pull that off, But
as for her, I can't picture her from any other film I've seen.
Was it him or her?
Her.
Oh well, yes, the princess. I'm sorry, yes, the empress, Tushi Kobayashi. Yes, she's and I should say her story's kind of sad. She died at a very young age, unfortunately.
Oh, wow.
But this performance that she does in this film totally sold it in terms of her essence, because her performance in here is just unforgettable. It's unforgettable. So that's why she stands out. But unfortunately, yes, she didn't. She unfortunately passed away at a young age, and that's probably why because I even looked it up, and found out that she had passed away way before. I think she started. She passed away in like the early '90s, and I was just like, damn.
Wow.
And she wasn't even that young, she wasn't even that old. That's why I say it's like, damn, she didn't get a chance to really, do. But I mean, this is the part that really sold who she is. And beside the two here, we have
Hideo Yamamoto.
Yes, yes.
A guy who played Doctor Who in King Kong Escapes,
dude,
with the bad teeth and all. Good.
And I'm wondering, was his teeth really rotten at that point? Was that just prosthetics?
I think it was prosthetics. I think they were fake teeth.
Because he just looked gruff and just looks mean and just like, good God, I mean, how can you? But he's always playing mostly antagonist parts anyway, And then of course we have the prolific actor here, Akuho Hirata, who's just playing Mer Agent number 23. So that's the so-called antagonist cast. But as you see, like all these casts, all these films in previous films and after, they always had a stellar cast. Yes. And these people really bring the range of what they, and as Mr. Lambert mentioned, the story of this film is very unique, very complex, but it keeps you intrigued. So we'll get into it as we start with how this movie goes in terms of where it's going with. So, bottom line, let me get it started and we'll just carry on as we go. The movie starts out with one of these. Well, might as well say. Well, you know what? Let's get that out the way. Yes, he
ain't wrong.
He ain't wrong. He's not wrong. I was building up to that, but he said tits. Yes. Yes.
Toku tattoo tits.
Yes, very much so. Shizumu and what's the other guy's name? So I'm losing track of their names. Satoshi and Sasami, they're like I say, they're photographers. They're model photographers and model photographers of the female kind. That's what they do. And they're out at night. They're photographing this particular model. And let me just say, this girl, she's in the car at first. And, she gets out. She's wearing this, coat. I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's a little cold outside, whatever. And he says, like, okay, ready? Take off the coat and bam. I was like, wow, okay, she's in a swimsuit. It's like, okay, this is something I've never experienced in a kaiju or tokusatsu film. I'm like, yeah, and as Kevin said, a tokusatsu tits. It's like, and she has some nice ones. I will say that she's well endowed, very much so. But okay, get on track with them.
Come back into the room, Walter.
Yeah, come back into the room. Yes, thank you. Help me come back in here. Okay, so while they're photographing this girl, she's saying, "Will you hurry up because it's cold out here?" And you see her kind of sneeze a little bit. there's a car that is no. Before that happens, she sees this unusual, person come out of the water in this strange outfit or suit, whatever, wetsuit, and she screams to the guy. It's like, look at that! What is this? It's like, and she doesn't know what this is. So she's telling them what it is. They see it. It's like, what? We don't know what it is. So he starts. Sashimi starts photographing. Just like a like a photogenic word. Starts photographing it, and out of nowhere, here comes this car barreling towards them and goes into the water. Now, we should make mention that Mer Agent 23 is the one behind the wheel, and he's driving this other particular scientist, drives into the water, and as we see it go into the water, we see this steam coming out of the water, and it's just, carrying on down the...
And don't forget, he asks the driver to stop, and he reaches out and touches him, and he burns.
Yes.
Because he's boiling hot.
Because you're kind of
when the car hits the water, because his body is so heated, that's where the steam comes from, as well as probably their engine of the car.
Yes.
But it's you're like straight away, what's going on there?
And it's like I say, we're getting to the point where it's like, okay, we're established that who are these people? Because how can you be that hot and burn a person's hand to say, oh, it's hot, so you don't really know. So to kind of carry on, I'll let Mr. Lambert take over from this nighttime moment to the daytime when they're taking up the car. So
they get the car up and they're like investigating everything, and obviously they like discover that there's something emitting from the car, and it's like, they've got they've done the car's crashed into the lake. The next morning, the car's lifted out of the water. And when the car's lifted out of the water, is it Susamu and Yoshi?
Yeah, you see,
Speak with the detective about what happened.
Detective
along with the wheel driver who claims he had been strangled. Which... then it becomes even a bigger mystery, because you're now thinking, well, is there some sort of mad man out there? Because you think about it, they had the scientist in the car and he's drove into the sea and basically drowned him. So in their mind, they might probably thinking, is this a serial killer or a murderer that's committing these horrific crimes? And as the plot progresses, you're then introduced to, I'm trying to get the names.
It's Magako, but I'm trying to make sure I've said it pronounced to Mayako. They were introduced to her.
Yeah, we're introduced to her. I'm trying to get that Makoto.
Makoto. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like, either way, you're good. I mean, I know I'll pronounce it wrong, but you probably pronounce it better.
So they're introduced to Makoto, and she is the adoptive daughter of Admiral Kasumi.
Kasumi, thank you. Yes.
Who runs the shipping company. And so they're introduced to her, and like all of the clues are pointing to this admiral and the mystery of this ship going into the water and so forth. And as it progresses, she is also has a father who went missing.
Yes.
Who she believes is dead. And, as a progress, you have Agent, what was it, Agent
22, but we have someone who's actually looking over this as another agent. I forget what he's pronounced as.
He's like a reporter. He's pretending he's like a reporter, but he's not really a reporter. He's secretly working for the Kingdom of Mu.
Yeah. We don't know that yet, but we kind of suspect it.
Yeah, so he's like following her, and he's like, and stalking her, and that's when they get involved. Then they take her to the admiral, and then they start talking to the admiral about what's going on. And then this is where, you get this point where the Admiral's involved, and then suddenly Agent 23 comes and they're in the car, and as they're driving towards like the beach area, he's saying to them, and he's basically could say, I'm going to take you to the lost city of Mu. And he goes, the kingdom of Mu has been lost thousands of years ago. And this is where there's like a mini little battle between them, and Agent M suddenly dives into the water and disappears.
Yeah.
So now you're thinking, right, we've got the people of New have returned, but how and why?
Right. You know, and in midst of all this, you know, the reporter, you know, that's played by Shahara, you know, he's interviewing the admiral, you know, but I mean, he's retired from that. When I say he's, you know, he's not there to, he mentions that his that the man is still alive, and it's a shock to both him and Monaco, because there's a moment where the camera just, you know, because we don't know, because like I said, we don't really know who this person is, but when we see this particular shot where the camera pushes in on our face, you kind of like, what does that mean?
Yeah, because he's getting interviewed, but then the questions that he should be getting asked via this interview are not the kind of questions that he thought he was going to be answering during this interview. And this is where he kind of feels like the reporter's intruding more than he should be.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like you see, when they mention, the admiral, the other captain, the greatest captain of the Japanese, you know, Navy, is potentially still alive, and she's sharing this. It's a shock to the system because it's that author basically they're talking about.
So we don't really know, and that's what adds on more more weight to the issue, because you think like, okay, this should be something of a dead issue, shouldn't even be thought about, it should be pushed on. But like I say, we're going to get to that point after the beach incident. I'll pass it on to Mr. Hall, and you kind of take over where after the incident at the beach, we go from the police station, which we involve ourselves with Mr. Detective Ito again.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, so they have captured I forget that gentleman's, Tomei Yamano. They have captured him because they feel like that he was part of Agent of Mu, but he wasn't. And each time they would ask him a question, he would just say these numbers like 75, 98. I don't think that was the exact number, but I'm just saying.
Yes, we just, yeah.
So as they're standing there, all of that, that's when Admiral, or the retired Admiral, says,
Admiral Kasumi,
thank you very much. He's like, you're a Japanese naval agent, aren't you? And as he's asking him questions, he accidentally says, yes. Oh crap! Where'd you go, you son of a gun? Captain Hachiro?
Oh, the captain that he's talking about.
Yeah.
I'll say just say Gino. I mean, just say Gino. I mean, how do you want to pronounce it? I mean, because it's
John. I'll just say
John. Yes, that's
John's character had told him that he was alive, and they're like, "Wait, what?" So,
and what's Monko's reaction to that? Yeah,
just kind of fades as they're like, oh, "Are you okay?"
Right.
But
I mean, look, that's dramatic, but you know what? That's exactly what
so after they talk with him and all of that, he has agreed to take him to the captain on a mysterious island.
Yeah, but see, he's willing to take them to the captain, who was her father, who, don't forget, he had created a warship and then
Oh, yeah.
disappeared at the end of the war.
Yes.
And so he's willing to take them to the captain, but he's not willing to let slip where the location is, but he'll take them to the location, which
Yeah.
turns out to be this fortified island.
Yep. And as they get there, because even the new agent that was a reporter went along with
23, yeah.
yeah, went along with them. And as they arrive to the island, they go through like a sandy beach where their jeep gets stuck, and then they finally get to the place. Which, might I say, for being on an island and how they built the living space was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, and they meet these other officers and all that. They're like, who goes there? Or being security. And the agent's like, oh, it's just me. I brought guests.
Yeah.
And so they end up going in, making themselves comfortable. Finally, June shows up and is like, it's nice to see you again, Admiral. Like, oh, everybody's like, huh? So they end up having the discussion, talking about past and all that. And then they mention the warship.
Mhm.
And he takes them to their secret, underground location where they have the warship.
And I should just show this, this is behind the scenes, but that's the ATRAGON on their right side, where that's the mirror, one of the mirror submarines on the left there,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And obviously, the film's called ATRAGON because ATRAGON was the American or the Western title, but in Japan it's the Gotengo.
It's got the Gotengo, yes.
Yep.
Which is kind of interesting. I'm kind of like, who made up that title, ATRAGON, in the first place for this film?
I think Gotengo sounds better.
Well, you know what? Actually, I do too. I mean, it just seemed like that's more robust for some reason, but I don't know. I mean, that's beside the point. But yeah, that's why I don't see. See, that's one thing I can say about these movies. If you translate them, it's like we're translating them into the language that we feel is comfortable with. But it's like, shouldn't you just go with? I mean, shouldn't it have been just called the Tango for the Western audience? Don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it.
And obviously, after they are introduced to the Gotengo or the ATRAGON, she is then reunited with her father and she's like in total shock that he's still alive.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically admits that he disappeared with his crew and the ship because he wanted to prepare Japan to basically become the superpower of the world.
Yes.
With the power of the Gotengo. But at the same time that's happening, the government receive a tape from the new empire, which showcases around the world different natural disasters that are happening, but they're not natural, they're being occurred by the new empire.
Yes, like this here.
Yes. They're basically enforcing natural disasters on countries around the world. They should show how dominant in their power is. And during this time, the captain of the Gotengo is kind of ignoring the events that are going on because in his mind, he had this mission of, bringing Japan glory and making it a superpower again. And they are basically begging him to use the power of the ATRAGON to take on the new empire. And the new empire know that ATRAGON is a powerful device and they are threatening the world or the captain not to continue building it.
Because this is what brings you to wondering. It's like they must be truly afraid of, because there's such a higher power in their mind. They're so ignorant. I mean, they're so ignorant, not ignorant, but arrogant in thinking that their power is superior. They're afraid to say, we need you to stop him from building this. It's like, why are y'all so afraid of this thing? It's like, it's that unknown factor of something. And you think to yourself, well, there must be something about it that's far more superior to your technology if you're tell them to stop building it, And in the midst of this, remember when we get to the island, the reporter, the Mu reporter, he mentions that there are resources on there that are, greatly abundant. And I'm guessing that those are the elements that went into the making of the ship to kind of like harden it to where it's like very battle ready, and it's not to say it can't be damaged, but it's something where you got to be knowing the techniques of how to destroy it in order to disable it. So it goes without saying that this is the moment where, especially when he tests it, and it shows that the thing can fly. That's the other thing. That's something that you never would imagine seeing something like this, a submarine fly. But this is where the fantasies of the world at this time were just coming to life. We realized that the captain is so embedded with that mindset of using that to, like I say, as Kevin said, to like say reestablish, Japan as this really great nation.
Mm-hmm.
The admiral was telling him, like, in no so small words, like, that's over with. The war is gone. It's done. We're not doing that anymore.
Because he's been stuck on that island for so long with this mindset and this goal that he's not taking account of things that are happening in real time around the world. So the war's ended, but he's still in that old military mindset. And now there's an even bigger threat to the threat that was there before, which is the people of Mu. And as you know, you're then slowly introduced to the Empress of Mu.
Right.
And, you see the older gentleman who's, and it reminded me of a scene from a Mothra film where you basically got all the priests and the worshippers, and they're in the temple room and they're singing and they're like praying, and they're praying to the god Manda.
Yeah.
Yep, and he actually is called the High Priest in this film, because he is, and it's funny because they're sitting here bowing down, and the Susumu, he literally tells the girl's father that he's war crazy, and he's like,
he tells him he's
war crazy. And just walks off after saying excuse me, and then he looks back at the admiral's like, is this boy, he's like, he's a better man than you, right? That's pretty much what he's
pretty much tells him. Yes.
And then as that progresses, he ends up having one-on-one time with her at some point, and she is having regrets coming here because of what he has been doing for all these years. And then Susumu was, in the background listening, and no, you're good. He literally says to him, take care of my daughter, because I know I wasn't there for her. Well, as they're walking back, Agent 23, the reporter, snags her, uses his power, and then uses his power on Susumu, and then they can go back to the Mu Empire as they're doing their Amanda, Amanda, and then they make judgment, and the Empress literally says, sacrifice to Manda, and it's like, yes, very good, very good. Yes, we shall sacrifice them to them. And that's where you're introduced to these other scientists and professors that have been literally being used for labor down in the Mu Empire, because they were slaves pretty much. And they end up talking with them and all that. And they're like, you shall see Manda. And they open this little sliding door thing, and you reveal course, this ain't the actual one. This is they revealed Manda.
Manda. I was trying to get the picture up, but I mean, I'll just show this one. This is the
Mhm.
one.
So they see the terrifying creature, and it's like, that's what you're going to be sacrificed to.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's where they start attacking the island, try to destroy the base, and all that, but they didn't succeed. And finally, the captain finally snaps out of his thing, agrees with the admiral, and they're like, okay, we're gonna take this son of a gun down.
Because I think once he attacked the island, to see the threat in front of him, he's got like a visual, he's got a visual of this threat in the new empire. And can I also say what I found, because obviously I know the Showa era and I know the Showa era movies. Do you not find that the plot of this is similar to Godzilla versus Megalon?
Yeah, well,
just a little bit. Yeah,
just a little bit.
You've got the underground Seatopia kingdom that wants to, because the human race are a bunch of pricks, like we always are, and we've been polluting the world, and it's been sinking down to the kingdom of Seatopia, that they send their god Megalon to destroy the world because they want to reclaim it and to stop, the pollution and all of that. And this has a similar thing where the lost city of Mu have basically been dormant for years trying to survive, and they're sick of whatever's going on in the surface world, so they are now taking their opportunity to try and conquer the surface world. So in many ways, does that make them really a villain?
Well, I'll put it like this: their actions is bad, but their motives is not really, because with the Mur Empire, they're just wanting to, rise up, and so-called conquer. Whereas the Sutopians, they just want to be kind of left alone because they're being destroyed by the upper crust of the human beings with the nuclear testing they were doing, because believe it or not, that was a real thing going on back in the late 60s, early 70s, where they did underground testing. So with the Seatopians, their motives were, driven to say, okay, the outsiders, the upper crust ones, they're the villains, where the Mu Empire, all they're trying to do is just like they're like what you call like the guy, like old man, from Invincible. They're just trying to rule and conquer in a way, So I mean, it depends on the person's point of view, as I like to say. That's that kind of mentality, because you got to remember, the daughter, Malko even says to her father, you're no different than the Mu Empire. You just want to try to take over and do whatever, and say, that's not what I'm doing. I'm doing it for patriotism. Like, no, you're the same kind of individual. You're doing the same damn thing. You're not no different. And that makes me think to myself, like, that's the thing you got to realize. Like, your perspective is obscured if you can't see that you probably are the bad guy, and in a way he was being the bad guy until, as Kevin said, he's like, he finally releases that motive, and realizes what's more important, your patriotism, your honor and everything, or the love of your daughter, the one that you gave birth to and left behind, and didn't realize, like, that love was almost lost if you didn't regain it.
It was kind of like hanging on to the past instead of focusing on his potential future, and part of that future was in holding on to the past was not building a relationship with their daughter.
Yep.
And now he has an opportunity to do that if he lets go of his past.
Because I have to ask this question: when she tells him, that moment when she really comes to realization, even though I met her, I was regained with him, I'm reunited, all these things. When she says, "I hate you," do you think she was out of line for saying that? Do you feel she was out of place? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Nope, because at the end of the day, he's still alive.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of actually being and having being a family with his daughter, he's made the choice to be selfish by allowing his pride to overcome what he should be focusing on, and that was to be with his daughter and his family. He decided, no, because at the end of the war and it didn't go Japan's way, he's obviously then said, right, I'm going to make sure we are ready next time, which by disappearing and living on this island, he sacrificed so much. In the world that he thought he was going to return to, it's not that world anymore. The world's moved on without him.
Yeah. It's a changed world, you know. It's not about war. I mean, true enough, the world that he left, you know, they're still at war with certain things, even different ideologies, different, probably no different than we have today, because we have that out of whack right now, you know. But the thing about it is, you know, you have to look past that and realize what's actually really important, what's actually makes the world better for itself. Peace, and you know, and realizing like the people that you're, you know, associated with, that you love and everything, families, like all these things should be the things that hold you back from doing war material things, battles or anything like that. But you know, it's like I say, it's a much deeper metaphor in this film than most people ever look. They just like, oh, there's a flying submarine, or it's a like an eel thing, you know, that's got these horns, look like a little dragon. No, it's more to it than that, you know. It's a real strong character-based film, you know. So yeah, but no, we're I have to say too, this film has some of the best effects in terms of pyrotechnics I've ever seen, especially at this time. You know, it's it's crazy because wait a minute, where is it? Like I said, this one here where the you know, that one particular scene where they threatened to, you know, do damage to the world in certain places, the cave-in sequence of this particular block, you know, we see the before and then we see the after. That was one of those staple effects that Mr. Subarai was really known for, and he did them well. You know, you've seen them countless times in previous films and after, but you see the power of the moon. And they're saying that they are a bigger threat than you give them credit for it. You know, so like I say, the captain says, "I'm finally going to, you know, take off this rusty armor of what I was indulged with." And it's like, it's time for me to, like, hey, forget all what the past was, focus on what's actually important now, try to, you know, rescue my daughter, you know. And really, if you think about it, his daughter is the catalyst that makes him realize, like, yes, you need to break out of this, you know, you need to forget all that, you know. So
yeah, very true.
But as we get into the tail end of this, we see that everything's getting buck wild here. And like I say, we get to see that the submarine here, there's a sequence where, and I think it's right here, where they're blowing up ships in the harbor. You know, they just blowing up shit left and right. I'm just like, and dude, I'm just like, I'm watching this. I'm like, wow. It's like they ain't taking no prisoners. It's like, we're gonna blow shit up. We're gonna rock your world. We're letting you know we are this kind of badass, you know. But here comes the Tongo, and it's flying in here, and it's like, well, you're about to see what we can do here, you know. And oh, we got a thing here. Well, yes, extremely. If you're a tokusatsu lover or just a kaiju lover, people ought to watch it out. But now, like I say, during this time, Tsushimo and the other people in Mako, they're about to be sacrificed by the queen to Manda, and they go down. Like I say, Tsushima gets to jump on them by having these, you know, I guess they're kind of dynamite or whatever, explosives or whatever.
Yeah, and
they take them to this entrance here, where it's behind the scenes, where they need these suits and everything. And Tsushima tells the Empress, she's like, you know, put this on so we can leave, so I can take you to the surface. She says, no, I'm not going. And he's telling her, it's like, come on here now, get your ass on and let's go.
Mhm.
He's like, I refuse. What does he
And
do?
that's where it's suit yourself.
Yeah.
Starts turning the knobs, and then he's like, wait.
Mhm.
And then just, okay, put it on me.
It's like, good Lord. And you know how she just casually rips off her, garments.
Yeah, it's just like, fine, just do it.
I'm just like, goodness gracious here, Who we got here? Well, we got someone else here. Okay, hold up a second. Yeah, yeah. That's true, Crimson Ghost says. Yes, they very much are, They are insane, because
Yeah,
I don't think they're necessarily, I don't, and now that I think about it, they're not so much power hungry. I guess they're just trying to regain something they lost, because you gotta remember, their world sunk into the ocean thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, are they just trying to return because we are this powerful race, or we're just, because you got to remember, they're not just necessarily played by Japanese. There's like Caucasians, there's other races in this particular, So, and I should mention that even though you have that, I think this is just something that Ishiro Honda was saying in the midst, that not everybody should be, one-sided in terms. We could have all races united with one another in order to be a conqueror. We got Queen Govinda. Yes, they are, but I mean, to me, Queen, that the let's see. Well, yeah. Yeah, that's.
And don't forget when they break into, and there's the explosion, and they've got the Queen, the Emperor, and they're trying to take it up to the surface. She triggers an explosion that releases Manda.
Yes. Hold on, I got that behind the scenes here, which is a good scene too. Yeah.
Yep.
It's funny how the techniques they use back then are very, simple, but they're effective, And yeah, she releases him, and she didn't say what it is, but what's he was saying here? Yeah, well, let's be honest. The way this world works right now, Crimson, it's there's a lot of that going on, and he also says yes, very much true. That's why I say it's almost a reflection of today's world we live in, which is sad, because this is, like I say, the movie kind of reflects this. Like I say, this is a 1963 film, although it's based on a story that goes back to 1899. It shows the manifestations of how human society has these ideas, but somehow it's like they're instilled in them just to be violent, or just be war hungry, or just conquerors of some things, And it's like I say, what we mentioned before. The captain was kind of the same way, but in his way, he was thinking like, I want to be regaining Japan's glory,
Yeah.
And that's the thing, I think. And see, that's why we have to realize the message shouldn't be lost when watching the action scenes. Because, like I say, when the Muir Empire starts showing its power, you see them blow up this one cruise ship with people getting on them. It's like they are ruthless; they don't care. And then there's a scene where they're on this volcano, and I don't know what these things are. They're like the example of what drones would be later on. They shoot those things, and they hit that one Jeep, and it's like, damn, boy, y'all ruthless, Let's see here. She's saying, well, yeah, because you got to remember, he didn't have the whiskers. I think, did he have the whiskers in Destroyer? No, he didn't have.
No, he didn't have the whiskers or the horns or the fur. He looked more like a serpent than a sea dragon.
I'm going to talk about this.
Okay, go ahead.
So Manda was originally conceptualized as a giant snake during the production of ATRAGON, and was given the name mammoth snake Mammosu, which later became mammoth serpent. because the upcoming year, 1964, was the year of the dragon. Toho felt it would be appropriate to make the monster a dragon instead of a giant serpent. So Toho redesigned the creature as a sea dragon and shortened Manmosuda into Manda, which became the monster's official name. Manda's name has also been speculated to be the combination of the Japanese words man and daija, which when combined means 10,000 serpent.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yes. The Manda in Destroy All Monsters is sometimes noted in official books as the second generation, with the one that appears in ATRAGON is the first generation.
Ah, cool.
Well, see, I didn't know. Well, see, and I gotta say, this is my ignorance right here. How much, with this particular creature, see right here, it's funny because that there's something, as far as mythical about the designs behind them, because even Godzilla's design is something behind it that makes it, relevant to their culture and everything. But I figured with Manda, like I say, when we see, especially this up close version of them, when they open the doors and everything, you see the horns, you see the whiskers, you see all these things, but it's like, no, we know that in Asiatic countries, we've known about, dragons and it's something like a protection or just a ward off or whatever, but it's so much, atmospheric knowledge about that goes on between that and this, and then we see it reflected in the films that they do. It's there, man. I mean, it's so there. Hold on a second. So true. And Queen also says, like, I will say this, Queen, that in the translation there is, but really it's Gatango. It's really Gatango. Gatango. Thank you. I'm saying Gatango. Yes.
Yeah. So basically, when the American production company or the company that was going to release, ATRAGON or Gotengo was the Japanese name of the movie. So basically, when it was bought by the American company to publish it in America, it actually was shown on television, not in theaters, as a 2-part television movie.
Oh, I see. I didn't know
and
that.
So what happened is the production company, when they were going to release it, wanted to give it a name that might stand out more. So basically a westernized name. So they renamed it from Gotango to ATRAGON because I thought ATRAGON would attract viewers more.
Well, even Cruising Ghost says they should have just called it Flying Submarine. Well, I mean, its original title was Undersea, battleship, warship. But yeah, I think they should have called it that. Why don't just call it that? I mean, it seemed like that would be more simplified in that. But let's be honest. Western thoughts on certain things, when they take something from other countries, they want to westernize it, but it's like kind of be clever in terms of like, don't make this so outrageous that people can't follow. It's like, well, why is it called this when it's not even nothing related to this in there, And hey, she's yes, this yes.
Yeah, we mentioned that earlier, didn't we?
Yes, it's very look. It's very Jules Vernian here, Queen, because it's like, yes, I mean, because there's a moment here where let me bring this up here. Wait a minute, hold up. It's right not there, but I kind of showed it here, where on the right side, where it was around the Katango, or the Octagon, whatever you want to call it, and there's a moment where they shock it. They shock Manda, and it's just like it's so. I mean, because when I saw that, I was like, that's so much like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. When with
Yep.
what's the name of the submarine in 20,000 Leagues? That's stout. I mean, you know what I'm talking about, but the submarine in there, and that's when they was fighting off the squid or octopus, whatever you want to call it.
The Nautilus.
Nautilus, thank you. Yes,
the Nautilus, yes.
The damn thing, but yeah, but that's the thing, though. I mean, you see it in there, and hold up a second. I don't know. That's a good question, Crimson. I don't have no idea. I say, hold up. She's saying, well, if it is, I don't. You know what? See, you're telling me something I don't know. I mean, I'm learning something new here. I have no clue. I mean, that would be cool if it is.
And I find it funny the way they defeat Manda, and this is funny for special effects and their creativity for defeating Manda. While Manda's on a rock, they freeze it underwater.
Yes.
And I'm sitting here thinking, well, if they're freezing it underwater, shouldn't the whole, like that certain part be starting to freeze as well? But because this is a special type of flying submarine, they must have had a special tool or algorithm to where it could allow only the thing to freeze and stay in place. And then after that, that's when they drive into the Moo's headquarters and start freezing the inside, stopping the machine and destroying.
Okay.
Also, did you notice that the device that the froze Manda was called the Absolute Zero Cannon?
Yes.
The exact same weapon that is in Q that he uses on Godzilla and Godzilla against Mechagodzilla.
Yeah.
When he flies him out of the ocean and then he drops him. And he uses the cannon, and then the whole water around Godzilla freezes.
Froze up.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, Godzilla bursts through the ice and he's got the scar on his chest. So that is the exact same weapon that they used on Amanda.
Well, hey, why not? It's just to be there. Well, yeah, that's true.
That's special effects for you.
Yes. But as we get into the tail end of this film, we see that as Jake mentioned, they drill down to the heart of the Muir Empire. They freeze up and may I say, the miniature effects in this film are like amazing. I think they're top rate, but I don't think they get the much love that they should. But I feel that
the lost art.
Yeah, it's a very lost art. And as Crimson said, it could even fly. Yes. Because to me, I mean, let's be honest, when I saw it fly, I was just like, that seems like over the top. And then it's like, man, this is 60s and 50s, I mean, why not? Why not fly? But anyway, once it does that, it freezes up the mechanics, the things that makes it the heart of it and everything. You kill the heart, you're pretty much going to kill the whole rest of the body, the surrounding body. So everything starts going to shit, blows up, destroys and everything. And at this moment here, we see, like I say, we saw Amanda earlier.
Yeah.
And he was on the Atango and, got shocked and everything. This is the shot on the right where they're all sitting on the deck of the Atango, and they see everything being blown up. And even there's a moment where, they see one of the submarines come up and they freeze it, and it blows up,
Yes.
And I was going to say well, yes, they taught him a lesson. Hold up a second, and let me get this. Yeah, they just say he's like, get off my surface. But here's the thing about this. when they do destroy the country, we see the Empress just like say leaves. She just goes back to to this, and he tells her like, just let her go. She's that anxious. This is a moment where you realize that some people's mindset is so ingrained in what their thought process is that she literally swims out to where the explosion is going, and you see that moment where she just sinks into the mist. It's just like, wow, you mean
like when you see her swim towards the like where the explode, and you can see like the little model. It's like a model swimming towards it. It's so impactful because it shows you how dedicated she was to her people. She'd rather die than be separated
from her people. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a sad. When I was rewatching it, it just kind of hit me a little bit because it's sad how some people's, we got Familiar here. Hey there, Neko. What's up? How's everything going? Hope you're not giving Nubis too much of a hard time.
I hope you're feeling better.
Yeah.
She's been under the weather, bless her.
That's to be honest. That's to be understood. Yeah, because even Queen brings this up. Is that in a way you do, because it's like I say, that's the thing. When you're watching this, especially that part, you willing to die for what you believe in. It's like, okay, don't you think that should be let go? I mean, we get that you that mentality. You believe what you believe. I get that, but wouldn't you want to live and realize like maybe you should just? But then in a way that she's thinking, like it's almost, and I'm getting political when I say this. It's almost like the slaves on the Amistad ship when they literally dove off and rather die than be slaves to another world. And maybe in her mind, that's what she was thinking. She would be a slave to another world, which they probably would cage her and everything. But yeah, that's exactly. That's what I was. Exactly. Exactly. She chose that. She chose to choose death over, life. Life was too much for her once her country is gone. And to me, that's a reflection of some people today. They really believe that if they, are captured or whatever, and they live but the rest of their society is gone, it's like, no, I'd rather take my own life than to live on these principles, And it's like, we're going to treat you well. We're going to treat you. It's like, no, I don't want that. And that's why I say it's a sad, because you listen to the music, it kind of harkens to that, let you know it's like they won the battle, but at the same time, there's a sad motif of knowing that you won, but some people choose the other route in order to say that this is what we want, this is what we choose. And like I say, the movie concludes with the fact that, the daughter and father reunited. He realizes that whatever his patriotism or whatever is there, it's no good. It's only ruining him. It's only destroying or like this, it's blinding him from what is actually important.
Yeah, it's a question. Well, now with today's climate and the world we're living in today, would you want them to do a modern version of ATRAGON?
Oh, well, truth be told, if it was, I'd rather the Japanese do it. I put it like that. I'd rather them do it because they would do a better story in terms of that. And to say do an update version of it, actually, yes. Because I think they could capture the essence of what the climate of today is in talking about, because let's be honest, the climate of today is far more, it's over the top than what it was back then. I mean, there was many things going on back then, but compared to now, it's almost like we're swimming in sewage to some degree, And hold up, let me see this. It's there was a lot of these films that are way ahead of this time, Queen. It was way ahead of this time. It's as I was saying, it was a bittersweet victory. I mean, because you don't want to kill the people that are doing destruction, but you gotta stop him from destroying the rest of them. What do y'all think about that? I mean, go.
I would say when it comes to Godzilla Final War, that is basically a tribute to all things Showa. So obviously the original ATRAGON was a part of the Showa era. So as you know, it features many kaiju and many different elements of the Showa era. And bringing the Gotengo back to face the people from the planet X was a nice surprise.
Yes.
Especially when Don Fry's the fucking captain.
Right. With that gruff voice, it's like, yeah, sorry about that, sweetheart. You know, he's
and I told y'all to get back to the ship.
And just and just for the record, he does talk with that voice. He's not faking that. You know?
That he's being himself.
He's being himself. You know. But no, if they was to do a remake of ATRAGON, I wouldn't mind seeing that, but I would rather them do it. I mean, I'm pretty sure they would do it, you know. I would want them to focus on the climate of the day, because they would really show how the world is now in a better motif than, I mean, you could have someone here in America do it, but to me, I think Western eyes, they don't capture it as well as, you know, Eastern cinema does. You know, I think they really know the philosophy, the essence of what they're talking about. Because I've always believed when it comes to you know, Asian cinema, their philosophical notion of what they're trying to say is always embedded in their films, regardless. I mean, it was embedded in a lot of the Godzilla films. Even when the sillier films came out later, there was still an underlying message there. You know, you just got to bury through. You got to dig through all the, you know, battle royale kind of stuff going on and get to the heart of what it's actually saying. And this film here is no exception, because it's telling you basically how two ideologies come into play, but they kind of conflict with one another. And sometimes when they conflict with one another, almost the same thing, because the captain wanted to reclaim Japan as a great power, but whereas the Mu Empire, they pretty much wanted to rise back to their fame. They wanted to do that, you know, and it's sad that it comes to that, you know. Yes, there was, believe it or not, yes, there was an anime of ATRAGON. That is true. That's good question asking that. Yeah, because even it was. There was a anime of this. You know,
did they not do another movie?
No, they didn't do another movie. But like I say, as they asked the question, they did do an anime, but it wasn't a sequel or something like that. It was just something totally not related. But it was an anime. I can't remember exactly the year it came out, but it was somewhere around the 70s, early 80s, something like that. So, but yeah, and it surprised me, you know. And she says, and this is something I have to say right now. Some people who ignore some of these films that are not Godzilla related, y'all are cheating yourselves. Y'all truly cheating yourselves, because you're missing out on things. Which brings me to this final episode in terms of asking this. Watching this film, your overall thoughts about ATRAGON. I'll start with Jake.
I really enjoyed this film. I love the story. I love how you start off knowing this mysterious figure capturing these scientists or professors. The cinematography, the details, and the modeling and all that. I mean, I really, really enjoyed this film. This was for first time getting this film and watching it for the very first time back when it was released, I think like in 2014 or something on DVD. 2005, excuse me.
Yeah, because I think that's when it was released.
So, yes, I enjoyed this film a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, Mr. Lambert, what's your all of take on this film? As far as
It's
that
shit. It's garbage.
goes? Okay. Tell us how you
Um,
really feel about
no,
it.
no, in all serious, no. Obviously, like I say, for Toho, for the Showa era, it's probably one of my favourite films outside of Godzilla or Kaiju. It's just a great tokusatsu movie. I love the story. I love kind of the scientific element of it. And like you say, it is like the Japanese version of like a Jules Verne novel come to life. With the element of, you know, the Gotango and the lost city and the lost people of Mu. It features Manda, its first appearance. The cast are phenomenal. They're very convincing in the roles. I like I say, the mystery behind it all. It's just a real good movie. And like you say, for a film that came out back then, like you say, the miniature work in the movie is outstanding. Some of the pyrotechnic work in this is outstanding. I don't think anything can beat it in the Showa era except probably Destroy All Monsters potentially. With, and I personally would like to see a modern remake of this. Talking about today's climate, but like you say, I'm very much in the similar vein as you, Walter. It has to be done by Toho.
Yes, I think they would do it justice. And we had a question here by Queen Gasol. She's asking, have you any you two seen Latitude Zero?
Yes, I've watched both versions, both English and Japanese versions,
Okay.
and I enjoyed that film as well. It was very unique.
I've seen the English version. I've not seen the American version. And I know one thing, Walter, when we go and meet up at G-Fest, I'm definitely going to be trying to complete some more, non or Godzilla movies.
Films,
And if
yes.
ATRAGON is there, it's definitely going to be in my pile.
And you say you haven't seen Mysterians, right?
Yeah. I've not seen Invasion of the Mushroom People.
Okay, you haven't seen Matango. Well, I mean, it's the same thing, but yes, they will definitely have those. I know they will at G-Spec for sure. But I would say get a good copy if they are selling those, because there are. And I'm telling anyone who's watching, I'm telling you guys, if you go, there's some people who will try to swindle you. I'm sorry, they will. That's just facts. Okay, like anything else, we just know that people try to do over, and it's like, wow, y'all getting over quickly. And yeah. And yes, Caesar Salad, not Caesar Salad, but Caesar Romero played the villain. Yeah, he played the Joker. That's the other thing. He played the Joker before that, which is crazy.
I think a lot of people can't picture him doing anything outside of the Joker. So everyone's quite surprised when they hear, oh, he was in this film, he's in that film, because before he did the Joker, he was quite a prolific actor.
Yes. Oh, I think he's a very underrated. I mean, well, I put it like this: not underrated, but they didn't give him credit on how much his range really was. Which is sad. But I mean, hey, that's if you pigeonhole certain people, that's what's going to happen. And fortunately for him, he was able to do that film too. Let me see. Wait a minute. Let's see. He's saying, well, yeah. Mr. Takarada was in that film also. Yes. But before we close out, asking you what's coming up on future events for your channel, Mr. Lambert.
So coming to the entertainment headquarters tomorrow, it is the continuation of Fear the Wolf, the month of werewolves. That's right. I've been doing a month-long Halloween, special on my channel, which is dedicated to werewolves. Last year we did Taste the Blood, the month of vampires. This year it's Fear the Wolf, the month of werewolves. And coming tomorrow, we're bringing you, which is the 20th, at 10 p.m. UK time. It'll be 2 p.m. Pacific time. We're doing 3 films. We're doing Cursed, Wolf, and Were. Were's quite an interest because it's like a found footage werewolf film. And then I will be doing on Saturday the 25th, we're doing Werewolves 2024, Dog Soldiers, Late Phases, and Howl. So looking forward to that. And throughout the course of the rest of the week, there might be a couple of surprises hitting the channel.
Okay. Well, Jake, I know you don't have any YouTube channel or anything, but do you have anything interesting that's going to be going on in your world as far as we know?
I'm pretty much continuing my all watch-a-thon for horror and sci-fi. I am currently watching Bram Stoker's Dracula at the moment. I've been watching pretty much anything. I think tomorrow I'm going to start the Tremors series, more than likely. But other than that, I still got to finish working on my comic book folders, putting covers on them and all that. But other than that, nothing much really.
Here's a question. So werewolves, I've never heard of that film.
I don't think I've heard of that.
That's an interesting one. I mean, I've never heard of that at all. That's
I will mention this once we get past Halloween and past October. The first content I'm putting out there, which is on Sunday, the 2nd of November, it's going to be back to regular programming on the entertainment headquarters. And we're going to be starting November off with the next Kaiju Connections classic Kaiju film review. And it's going to be Young Gory.
On the what now? Ori?
Young Gory.
Gary.
Oh, Young Gory. Oh, Young Gory. I know. Okay. I know it's funny how English and English are, I gotta realize like English sounds different from English. So it's like, yes, that's what that is. Okay, sorry. Not to say you can't talk, but sometimes I don't think I can talk. So that's
Are you taking the piss out of me?
But for me, I'm going to be, like I say, this coming Saturday, I will be joining with you on your particular werewolf review with that, talking about those films, because I do know about Dog Soldiers. I have not seen Last Phase. I'll definitely have to work at that.
That's on Tubi if you want to watch that.
But I will. But before I join you with that, I will be, because I've switched it a little earlier. I will be doing a podcast talking about 1978's thriller, directed by Brian De Palma, The Fury, which is a very underrated, horror classic. I mean, it's dealing with telepathics, but it's very gratuitous. But you have to watch it. But yes, I'm going to be talking about that. Hopefully, I can have Mr. DJ Anubis join me, or someone, But yes, it's should be an interesting talk. And then I'll talk with you about those other werewolf films. Other than that, that's pretty much it. I mean, like I said, we've done a good bang up job here. You got that on? Well, I don't have it at all. It took me a while.
It's on Tubi as well to watch. Yes,
and it was made in Korea, which, believe it or not, done by Japanese special effects. Yeah, he was in that. Yes, Kirk Douglas is in The Fury. Yes, he is in that.
And Jake Hall, if you want to be a part of Saturday's werewolf event, you're more than welcome to join us.
Okay. I don't think I've seen most of the films that y'all are talking about, but I'll probably be in the live chat, and just listen to y'all more than likely.
No, that's cool. More than nice to have you watching and taking in all the tomfoolery that we're going to deliver that night.
Yeah, I know there's going to be a lot of tomfoolery, especially between you two.
Yes, you already made your request once, so don't think you're not going to see it when you're behind the scenes. So yes, but this has been a good talk, guys. I appreciate your time. Yes, like I say, being here and talking about a classic that's non-Godzilla related is
Yes.
just fun.
Oh yeah.
And I think you need to talk about these films because
Are you
look,
gonna ask what we're gonna rate it? Oh,
well, I think you did, but in a way. But you know what? Give your rating to this film. What's your rating to this all?
I'll let you go first, Kevin.
Yes.
I'm gonna give it a solid 8 out of 10.
Okay. That sounds about right. What about you, Mr. Jake Hall?
I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10.
8. Okay, 8.5. I gotta say, it sounds like 1.5. But my hearing is bad.
See you later.
Yeah, take it easy, quick. Well, I will definitely give it a 9 because, like I say, it's I would give it a 10, but I think Matango took that place. It's just like I said, it's a good film. You know, it's just like I say, these are underrated. If someone said underrated classics, I think someone give it a whirl because these they were ahead of the time. They need to be talking about this time. So, yeah,
definitely.
But with that being said, I thank you, everyone. I thank everyone in the chat. I mean, thank y'all for giving me your input and everything. This has been a fun ride here. I love this. You know? I love
yes,
this
it's been a good one.
Yes,
and I finally made an appearance on Jedi Granville Productions.
You've been on here before. No, I think Jake. This is Jake's first time being on.
Oh yes.
Yeah, this is my first time. So
yes, no, but you've been on here before. It's just that I've been on others, and it's been a while. But that's okay. Sometimes, like fine wine, needs to, come to a fine age to be perfected. So that's all that is. So, but this has been Kaiju Corner talking about ATRAGON. I thank everyone. I thank my guests, Mr. Kevin Lambert and Jake Hall. Hopefully, we can do it again for another one, whatever that might be.
Yes,
so,
thanks for having me.
Yes, but as I always do, yes, you very well. Thank you for being here. Because I couldn't do this without you guys. So, but as I always close out on these particular Takasasu corner topics, I say take care. No, I say take care. Be patient, and always keep the kaiju love alive. So y'all have a great one now, all right? Peace out.